where I'm at with things. If I don't show folks, answers to reality, they're probably never gonna fucking figure them out. In most cases. And time has told us that much. If anyone's paying attention, but most people aren't. So, considering how most people operate, the last thing I should do is show people answers to reality that they're never gonna fucking figure out. I've asked people to answer the test questions. Because I'm still leaving answers online, no one gives a fuck about that. By and large. I know there's, I think, 2 of you out there that have shown some interest, possibly. Maybe 3. Yeah. Yeah. What I sorted out recently, again, it blows me away. And it's so far down the fucking pike, and people aren't working on any of the shit that builds any of this up. By and large, I realize a few of you who have taken some of the things I've left online to heart. It would take so fucking long to explain all of this shit to somebody, even if they did give a flying fuck, and most people don't. It's fucking crazy. The masses are being dumbed down, and when I do leave answers, you wouldn't believe how many duds come out of the woodwork and just waste time trying to give me grief about spoon feeding them things. It's crazy. Just dealt with a Christian gal who's, doing the typical babbling about Jesus shit. And so I threw her some bones, and then she said something along the lines of, there are a lot of, agendas associated with the Luciferian pagan stuff, which was a bunch of wishy-washy granola garbage that didn't mean a goddamn thing. In other words, she wasn't terribly bright. In other words, she hasn't looked into any of it, which is why I reached out in the first place. And this is usually what you'll bump into. The other example, I made another video about this where I'm complaining about it, and most of these I haven't even uploaded because who wants to hear this, even though it's relevant? It's the people you and I are surrounded by. But I left a fairly lengthy explanation on Instagram, and I had some twat waffle chime in and say, get yourself a blog. Because he's not invested, he's not involved. And yet he's following a fucking page that supposedly promotes truth. But he's too stupid to fucking read the words. And take to heart something that I spoon-fed him for free. Instead, he wasted my time and his telling me to get a blog. Because this is Instagram. Heaven forbid people fucking, rise to the occasion, set an example, and think for themselves. Instead, he's urging me to buy into, this is where people are fucking stupid. And we just play follow the leader. Why aren't you acting like us? I'm offended. So I'm gonna, sling you some bullshit and redirect you to something else, because the only place you can leave, thoughtful jazz, I guess, is in a blog, according to this asshole. He's not the only one like that. I've heard it before. Interacted with carbon copies of this in TikTok and the other social engineering platforms. I've had people tell me shit like that on fucking YouTube in the comment section. Because these kids are a dime a dozen. They're not thinking for themselves. I'll digress. Thanks for hanging out. What the fuck do I know? Why are people so fucking stupid and lazy? Oh, right. Social engineering works. And peer pressure maintains this shit. And complacency got us this far.